Alright, this walkthrough guide is going to be covering all these servo skulls in Chapter 12 of Space Marine. First one is going to be pretty much at the start of the level. You're going to head normally to the right there, but if you turn left, you'll find this obstruction which you can destroy and pick up this servo skull.
Something terrible has happened. Your mother, my Juliet.
This is working at Nathaniel 4 to 5.
They called it your sister. She was screaming, and your mother threw herself at them. They laughed, Benjamin. The worst sound I've ever heard. And I grabbed Hannah. But your mother, they took her and they broke her, and I couldn't. We made it to Epsilon Center. Find us, Benjamin. Please. Find us.
And that's it for this one. That is servo skull number 8, I believe. Yes. In Chapter 12. Alright. So continuing on. This is the room where you find the Iron Halo. And then right to the left of the Iron Halo, as you'll see, is our next servo skull.
On that fateful journey,
this is Inquisitor Drogan.
in my exhausted musings, I let my guard down. Something a psyker should never do. My desire, my psychic will, reached out into the warp, and the warp reached back. A spark of warp energy appeared before me.
That doesn't sound good.
Flickering, and powerful. I felt it batter my psychic shields. My shock was absolute. I lost focus, and the spark disappeared. I knew I had to get it back.
So I think this is more or less kind of describing where that power source came from. And that's servo skull number 4 in this chapter. Alright, so... and the servo skulls are out of order again in this chapter. But I've recorded this in terms of progression. So once you get into the structure here, and Leandro starts to bring up this conversation,
and again, you emerged from the
you'll find the third servo skull in this room, up at the top here. This second Lieutenant Mira 4 to 5.
Let's go. You're not leading this raid. Of course.
I don't know if I mentioned earlier, there's 8 total servo skulls.
Let's face it, you're
Also make sure to check the description, you'll find timestamps, so you can easily browse between all the different servo skulls there are in this one. This is number 1. Okay, so now we're out in this outdoor area after some chaos and orc fight. And just to the left of where we're going to be continuing on, the main path is going to be this servo skull.
But it's not. The dead are everywhere. Stinking.
As you can kind of see, and this is the point we've met up with Lieutenant Mira.
If you stop and think about it, billions dead here, you'll go mad. No matter where
This kind of gives you a good idea of where it is, and there's that weapons cache up ahead.
For help that never came.
And this is, I guess, number 6. Alright, unfortunately there's a little bit of a problem with this next one. This is servo skull number 5, and it seems to be bugged.
The Ultramarines and I are almost at your position. Mira out.
I guess they're gonna have to release a patch for this one, because as you can see, collecting it doesn't do anything, and it doesn't even show up in the audio logs, which is really annoying. And I just don't understand why that happens, but whatever. So I figure that's where the skull is. It's the only one that's bugged out in the whole game that I encountered anyways. But there you go. Next servo skull is going to be right next to the plasma gun. In this little alcove here. Or corner rather. Now we got the plasma gun.
I access the comm station. The Liberation fleet is en route with Ultramarines.
And this is Transmechanic Petronius basically talking about it was him that was sending those messages in the opening cinematic, apparently.
Everyone on this planet dead.
Not so, dude. So yeah, duty log 5 out of 5 is servo skull number 3. Alright, so now we're in this outdoor area. Once we've met up with the Bastion, Imperial Guardsman, whatever. Servo skull is hard to miss, right next to the weapons cache, along the main path.
I got shot in the gut.
Uh-oh.
Doesn't hurt now, no. Medics gave me something. They were stitching me up. I wish they would. See, I can't.
That's,
There's something wrong with me.
if you remember, the Medicaid journal was talking about how they're basically putting down the wounded with lethal doses of medicine. So I guess that's what happened to Guardsman Alexander. That was Servo Skull 7. Alright, next one. I'll be along the main path here. Before you enter this doorway, don't enter that until you get the Silver Skull, because it's gonna start a boss fight. It's just right around the edge of these crates here behind them.
It's not your call, is it?
And this is at the very end of the level.
Of taking the gun.
But a nighttime assault.
Have some faith, Samson. In the dark, we might catch those orcs off their guard. Unless they've...
If I remember correctly, that didn't work too well. So that was a bad idea on Lieutenant Mira's part. As you can see, Silver Skull's 5 is still locked, but this was a 8, maybe? No, sorry. I don't know which one it was.